Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Cool Man 100X. Welcome back to another NBA 2K22 tips, tricks, videos to help you guys get better in 2K. But before we jump into that, make sure you check out my Patreon for the Tay Brick build. Now we're going to get into making 5 tips for creating your build. Let's jump into it, guys. Okay, guys, what you want to look into is like 5 things that's more important, but I'm probably going to give you more, so stay, with me on this. So the first thing you want to go into is when you're making your my player and your created build in general, on what you want to do is the position that you want to go in. Make sure you find what position you're naturally into. The position that you want is pretty much your foundation of where you want to play. Definitely want to be right-handed or left-handed, depending on how you drive to the rim and shoot 3-pointers. Sometimes you're good from shooting from the left side, or sometimes you're good shooting from the right side, depending on what camera angle that you use, for the angle that you use, for the different type of sides that you shoot on, which are right and left. So after you go about that, make sure you pick your position and what hand you want to do. That's pretty much your foundation to the build that you want to do. If you want a fast build, slow build, center, any type of build that you want, make that your foundation of what you're good at. Go through them all if you want to, or you just want to find one. Personally, for me, I pick point guard because that's what I'm naturally good at. I like looking at the court and all that stuff. So definitely after that, you want to continue. After you want to do that, you want to pick the build that you want to do. I'm going to just pick something safe, any type of build mostly. We just want to get into the detail of making the build itself mostly. So you got different pie charts that you want to choose and different things that you want to do. So you just want to make sure which one that makes you more accountable with how you play, everything. So I'm pretty much picking every build that I want, basically. So this is where it comes to the main ideal of the build that you want to go to. If you want to go more shooting, if you want to go more depth, if you want to go more, hands-free and stuff like that as well. The main thing that you want to do, depending on if you want a shooting build, you definitely want to max out as much shooting that you want. That's the first thing you want to focus on as well. Next thing you want to focus on is the driving layup, because you're going to be driving to the rim depending on the type of player that you are. If they're just the driving and stuff like that, you want to be sure you actually can make the layups and stuff like that. So you want to be more dashing than you want to be more flashy. So close shot, you can actually max that out, but you really don't need close shot if you want to, but that's totally up to you if you want to. So definitely want to have ball handling, pass accuracy, and all that stuff as well. Make sure you fill up the main things that you need, pretty much the perimeter defense, the lateral quickness, the steals, and all that stuff that you need as well. Pretty much self-explanatory. Now you can go this route if you want to, totally up to you if you want to. It's pretty much the build that I always use, basically, but I tweaked it a little bit, so it's like, different things, different ways that I do it. So what you want to do is have like 10. That would be kind of cool for this type of build too as well. So give you 56 left, so you can actually add it towards shooting. You can add more shooting if you want. I recommend adding more shooting. So we pretty much got the base down of what we want for our build. So you pretty much want enough shooting, depending on the position that you play from, to be lockdown perimeter. You want to make sure you focus on shooting, playmaking, defense, whatever your foundation is that you want to work on, depending on the pie chart, fill that up first. That's my recommendation for that. If you don't like that method, I don't know, but it's up to you. After you want to do that, you can pick anybody type that you want. My personal favorite is slight. To me, I think you're more faster being slight. Now, this is where it gets kind of tricky. Depending on the height that you got, it actually minus certain things, and when you go higher, it actually decreases certain things and increases certain things. So take in mind that you want a base height that actually match your style of play. So make that into a case that you want to do. Make sure you have the right height, depending on what height. My favorite height is around 6'5" or 6'4", 6'3". Either or. The lowest I ever went this year is 6'4". I kind of miss having 6'5", so pretty much I'm going to stand at 6'5". If not, I'm going to drop down to 6'4" or 6'3". These are the 3 heights that I mostly play with the most. I don't go any higher. I don't go any lower, depending on the speed that I want for my player, because I want to be able to dribble and drive to the rim and shoot threes when I'm open, depending on the dribble style that I have. So to me, I focus on 6'4" if I want the speed. Now this comes to animation as well, because this actually increases the interior defense and increases the interior defense or stuff like that. So depending on if you want to be more faster, I recommend going the lowest weight in all your builds in case you're shorter. If you're a point guard, small forward, depending on the weight, you have to fluctuate. So make sure you go lowest weight if you're a point guard. To me, that adds more speed. To me, that adds more body control, because it really doesn't matter about strength in this game, to be honest, which I have not seen any effect to that. Now, wingspan. Now, this is kind of tricky as well. This actually ups your shooting and down your shooting as well, and drive and ball handle as well. So you want to make sure that it fits your style mostly with the wingspan and stuff that you want to choose. So you want to make sure that you can dribble, shoot, and off the dribble shoot and drive to the rim with different ordeals that you come up with in scenarios that you go against in one-on-one play. So for me, I always go the lowest wingspan depending on it. I have a high dribble. I can shoot the ball with a quick release. All that stuff adds into that thing as well. The next thing you want to do is just want to focus on just making the build, choosing whatever you want for your takeover. Pretty much takeover self-explanatory if you know how to play thoroughly. But to me, I always use the spot up shooter because I think that's more of a depth to have in a type of serious situation. But you can go any one that you want. Personally, I think that's the best one to have. So pretty much I made a playmaking shot creator basically. So the cool thing about it is that you can add the build. Now you want to focus on what can you add to build. This actually puts a bit more of a damper on what you want to do. So what you want to do here is you want to test the build out. Test the build out any other way that you want. You can start career, do it any way you want. But I really recommend you going to test build. The test build actually gives you an opportunity to test the overall that you want to be at after you can test the badges and see how many badges it take you to get. So it gives you a chance to organize the badges, what you want to do, and organize where you want to fluctuate the badges that you want to go. But you can actually do this as you play the game or in park or in program. You can test it on the overalls. I do recommend testing each badge before you go in there. See if badges work for that type of overall. So when you playing in a max setting, you already know how the badges work in that particular way. You can actually set them up any way that you want to as well. That gives you the opportunity to see what you're working with before you even get the build fully maxed out. So I hope this tip will help you guys out. I'm out of here, guys. Deuces.